Helping news tonight. After months of ongoing power outages, Grand Bahamians can take a moment to breathe a sigh of relief or breathe easier as the Grand Bahama Power Company's request rate for an increase has been suspended, at least for now. Good evening all, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. That announcement was made today by the Grand Bahama Regulatory Committee in a press statement. Shishina Rolfe-Farquharson has tonight's top story.
No approval for an increase anytime soon for the Grand Bahama Power Company. This as the Grand Bahama Port Authority Regulatory Committee suspend its review of Grand Bahama Power Company's proposed rate plan until service reliability is reestablished. According to a press release issued on Tuesday, the GBPA's Regulatory Committee held an urgent meeting yesterday with executives of the Grand Bahama Power Company to discuss current electricity service challenges and resulting impact to utility customers across the island. President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, says that during yesterday's meeting with GBPC, the port stressed the importance of restoring reliable electricity service to Grand Bahama's residents and businesses. He said these interruptions in service take a tremendous toll on the island's economy and our quality of life, and service reliability must be reestablished as soon as possible. He says, as such, we have directed to GBPC to immediately develop and implement a plan to alleviate ongoing power disruptions. Additionally, GBPA advises island residents that it has suspended the review of GBPC's proposed rate plan submitted on August 1st, 2024, covering the period of 2025 to 2027, and its public consultation efforts until a period of electricity service reliability has been reestablished. GBPA's regulatory chair, Sarah St. George, says that GBPA will suspend any review of the rate plan until GBPC demonstrates significant improvement in power reliability. She notes that GBPA remains committed to transparency and public participation in the rate process and will reopen public consultation and encourage feedback from residents at an appropriate time. The statement concludes the GBPA's Regulatory Committee will continue to monitor electricity service reliability and work with GBPC to ensure stable, dependable power supply for the island. Meantime, GBPC also issuing a statement late on Tuesday. According to the statement, the recent disruptions are due to the unplanned loss of GBPC's second largest generation unit. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shishina Rolfe-Farquharson.
Meantime, Grand Bahamians should prepare for ongoing power outages for at least another week as the Grand Bahama Power Company works on a temporary solution for its generation plants. A permanent fix is anticipated to take several months. Tonight, GBPC officials discussed the challenges they are currently facing. Shalia Roll has the latest details in this report.
Back to black is what residents chanted last week as the Grand Bahama Power Company faced system reliability issues. Now, the Grand Bahama Power Company is breaking their silence, revealing that there is a generation shortfall with their second largest unit.
We had a failure with, like I said, with the our second largest unit. And presently, like I said, we have troubleshooted and found some PMs and that we need to do with it, and we are presently in process of rebuilding that unit. In the coming months, hopefully, we are anticipated to have our next unit return to service sometime this week.
As summer began, the reliability of power supply has been on a downward spiral, so much so that residents are now expecting power outages daily. At the brunt of the power unreliability, Grand Bahama Power Company officials revealed that the main generator at their Peel Street plant was damaged. Now the power company is running into more issues as another main unit needs to be repaired. But in the meantime, the power company has a plan to relieve stress from the systems.
We are using solar to provide reliable energy during the day and our rental generators at night. But until we get our units back up from during our PMs and the second largest unit that failed, we will continue with the shortfall until we can be optimal.
A part of relieving the stress on the systems is load shedding protocols. However, residents say that the schedule is not accurate. The maintenance and reliability specialist at the Grand Bahama Power Company says that due to unforeseen circumstances, the schedule can change.
We are working diligently inside to provide more reliable and updated information, so we will do better with that.
Now, when asked about the Grand Bahama Port Authority's suspension to the rate plan proposal increase, Grand Bahama Power Company officials declined to comment. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
Just one station.
Switching gears now, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry and dock workers across the U.S. are demanding a bigger share, also fighting for job security amid stalled negotiations for a new 6-year contract. For the first time in nearly 50 years, dock workers have gone on strike. And while it could have major implications for the Bahamas, a local affiliate union is fully backing them. Cleopatra Murphy has the story.
From Maine to Texas, dock workers from the 45,000-member-strong International Longshoremen's Association took their battle for a 77% wage increase and a stop to automation to the picket line early Tuesday. Officials believe the strike that could cost the U.S. nearly $5 billion a day could lead to supply shortages and higher prices at the cash register. But President of the Grand Bahama Dock and Allied Workers Union, ILA Local 2077, Romardo Cash, already anticipating delays, says it's a shared fight.
Fair compensation is a fundamental right, and we continue to push for wages that reflect the hard work and dedication of our members. It is vital that our labor is valued appropriately.
The union president does not believe the public understands the vital role dock workers play, adding they are crucial to the global supply chain, ensuring goods get from one place to another. Fully backing the ILA, Cash believes the strike could benefit his union.
It can strengthen the bargaining position of the ILA, potentially leading to better outcomes for dock workers, not only in the United States, but also here in Freeport.
Dock workers are striking across 36 U.S. ports, and with goods not moving, Principal of Sumner Strategic Partners Edison Sumner believes certain businesses could be hard hit.
The grocers and wholesalers, for example, the service they do is a just-in-time service, meaning they bring in product that can be sold right away off the ships, onto the shelves, into the shopping carts, and you move on, because these are mostly perishable type items that need to be sold within the time frame.
Several Grand Bahama residents following the developments are bracing for the impact of the longshoremen strike, some more concerned than others.
Like big bread. And that will affect you, my flour and things coming over. I will have no flour to bake with.
Well, it's not good that we have to pay more, but ain't nothing I could do about it.
I learned to live with things, but what I could change, I change. What I can't change, I live with it.
Representatives of Solomon's and Costrite, both owned by AML Foods, as well as Sawyer's Fresh Market, say they are not speaking out on the potential impact of the strike at this time. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
And now to this investigative report. A mother is raising serious concerns about the legitimacy of a private school after discovering it is not registered with the relevant authorities. ZNS News investigating claims that Belmont Oak Christian Academy is not a registered school, leading to a call for full refunds from parents and a warning to other parents.
He reached out to me and he was telling me about the school and the programs and what they had to offer. With him, he saw a good picture.
A mother in search of a suitable school for her son this semester is expressing disappointment and accusing the principal of Belmont Oak Christian Academy of misleading her about the school's legitimacy.
September 9th, dropping my son to school, walk into school, no power on. Now he's saying, he had to get permits and this and license from the port and what's not, and the power would have been turned on that week.
However, that did not happen. According to Lanishka Rule, classes were not held on the school's campus during the first weeks of the term, prompting her to demand a full refund. Rule also provided screenshots showing grades 7 and 8 classes being conducted via WhatsApp. In addition, she claims that she, along with other parents, filed complaints with the police regarding the matter.
Well, first week of school, the kids was up back and forth between the bowling alley and the school building. Now, apparently, like I said, the school building don't have no power, and the kids was inside this hot school, didn't know, us parents didn't know what was going on.
Our team reached out to the City of Life located at the old bowling alley. Event coordinator Alex Beckles explained that the space was initially rented for a PTA meeting, but they later discovered that classes were also taking place there. Beckles added that the rental fee was not fully paid, which led to the school's eviction from the premises.
A cancel check. So why are you sending us this check to show us that you can pay for the rental of the space so your children can be comfortable, and then it's a cancel check? We have no choice but to ask you to leave.
To investigate these concerns, ZNS News checked with the Port Authority and can confirm that Belmont Oak Christian Academy is not registered with their business license department. Additionally, a review of the National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas' NACOB website reveals the school is listed under non-registered institutions. A statement on their website confirms that non-registered institutions are not authorized to provide education, training courses, or programs, nor issue any certifications, awards, or degrees within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. ZNS News visited the school to speak with the principal, Akimio McIntosh, regarding the legitimacy of the institution.
Operating a school isn't a snap of the fingers. People think that your license pop up tomorrow. That ain't how it go. There's a protocol, and there's NACOB power for probably like 15, 16 pages that you have to fill and along with attachments. I go to Port Authority and I ask them, hey, what qualifications do I need to operate a school? They would tell me, hey, you have to go through NACOB. Once NACOB send a letter. Now, Port Authority has a regular business. You go open a business in Port Authority, you can say, hey, here's a business license after you pass the necessary protocols, right? But they can't do that with schools because NACOB have to tell them, hey, this person is confirmed.
Now, reports indicate that over 50 students were enrolled at the start of the school year, and classes are still ongoing, but they are now being held in a different room within the same facility.
And still to come.
When we come back, Freeport's Got Talent lights up Port Lucayo with amazing performances and big cash prizes. That story, sports, and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Black Palm is a convenience store in Hannah Hill, 8 Mile Rock that also offers import services. Place an order, schedule delivery, and pickup at the store. Open Sunday to Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Phone 348-1178 for more information. Black Palm.
Hi, this is KB. Listen, I want you all to join me at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom, October 13, 2024. I say this year. Now listen, we're going to be having ourselves a great time. KB and friends, we're going to have ourselves a ball. Listen, I'm on boat, man. Woo! A sea, man. My work is on the water. Free diving, throwing out line is how I survive. So I want to see you, Grand Lucayan Ballroom, October 13th. KB and friends, be there.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown of intellect. 11 schools vying for the trophy, scholarships, and bragging rights. Battle of the Brains. Witness the excitement as young minds compete in math, physics, chemistry, and biology. Who will rise to the challenge and claim victory? This year, 11 schools go head-to-head in the Battle of the Brains 2024.
Number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. It was a night of talent and creativity as scores of residents came together for the first ever Freeport's Got Talent. The event, hosted by the Grand Bahama Port Authority in Port Lucaya, was a huge success. Jay Philippe reports.
Freeport's Got Talent. The amateur song competition took place on Friday night in the Port Lucaya Marketplace area, where some 19 contestants, all from Grand Bahama, participated not just for bragging rights, but also for a cash prize. The artists in the competition range from teenagers to adults with a variety of genres. The crowd at Port Lucaya Marketplace came out in droves to support their favorite artists as they took to the stage with a chance to win $2,500. It was not an easy task for the 5 judges that included 2 international artists from Los Angeles, in addition to Bahamian local artist Julie Believe. But when it was all said and done, it was 22-year-old Jimmy Fine who performed the hit All Night Long by Lionel Richie, who walked away as the overall winner of the song competition.
For the performance, it was a lot for me earlier today because I was losing my voice, but I said I would still come out and have fun and just give it my all on stage. So I'm ready for the journey ahead. I just want to have fun.
Berlicia Sanders, who performed Whitney Houston's hit song I Will Always Love You, placed second, while Young Majesty Hannah placed third. Now on Saturday, Top Tier Band captured first place, followed by Favorite Band and Hatch Band, respectively. On Sunday, Sunland Baptist Academy won the choir's top prize, taking home $7,500, while St. George's Band finished second and Tabernacle placed third.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority is so delighted and so excited to give these Bahamians an opportunity to be able to showcase their talents, their skills. They obviously love being creative.
Some of them are amateurs. You know, some of them are gospel singers, some of them are high school children, some of them are grown-ups. They're all amateurs. And it was quite wonderful to be able to give them this platform tonight so they can come out of the comfort of their home and the comfort of their group of friends to come and perform in front of quite a big crowd.
The entire event on the weekend was under the patronage of His Excellency Kevin Tomlinson, Ambassador at Large Culture Affairs for the Bahamas, who took the time to support the various artists that performed.
Shows like this tend to give opening. It allows an opportunity for talents to be seen and to be heard.
The 3-day event featured an exciting range of local talent, which included amateur singers, bands, schools, and choirs, bringing together the creative community of Grand Bahama. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jay Philippe.
Bishop Michael Ellen School joining the list of schools on Grand Bahama incorporating local government junior council into their campus life following the suit of 2 to 3 of their finalists from the year prior, being Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School and 8 Mile Rock High School. Family Island Administrator Kenwood Cartwright says the purpose of bringing back the endeavor is to familiarize students with the voting and election procedure, going fully in depth with the operation.
When I received the news that I won the Anchor Advisor of the Year, I was ecstatic. It was over the summer break when I got a call from Pilot Joy, who let me know that out of so many clubs all over the world, that I was chosen and I was recognized for working with these young ladies.
Consultant for the Northern Bahamas, Alexander Williams, doubles down on the importance of integrating local government junior council into schools, hoping more will join the fray in the near future.
I extend my sincere congratulations to Mrs. Welshcombe for a job well done and an award well deserved.
We are grateful today to sit here with the person who is in charge of these beautiful young ladies, making them to who they want to be tomorrow.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, we didn't pull off the win last night. I think that's it for our season.
Season is done.
I think it's it.
But also, sports yesterday, man, I'm telling you, some championship games at St. George's Gym, LIS, Sunland, St. George's. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. That's coming up next. But first, your check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Join the Indigo Life Business Symposium from October 10th to the 13th at the Coca Multipurpose Center in Freeport. Learn about global innovation and collaboration in business with courses, competitions, and more. Register today for just $50, lunch included. Call 359-4001 for details.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I still want to put shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
And I still want to put shoes on your feet.
We still want to put shoes on your feet.
2 locations to put shoes on your feet. Downtown Freeport, and now our newest location in the Carmichael City Shopping Plaza, right behind the Walk-Up Wendy's, Carmichael Road West.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports First in Sports High School Volleyball Championship matchup at the Ivan Butler Tip-Off Classic between Sunland and LIS. LIS won the championship after being denied last year in 2 straight sets. And that's a quick check on sports. We do apologize for the technical difficulties.
Jade Champagne and The Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley live. Saturday, December 14th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. Doors open at 8 p.m., showtime at 11 p.m. For 102.7 The Rhythm big birthday party with Taurus Riley live. Get tickets online now. TheRhythm3.com. And it's a big performance. Taurus Riley. Brought to you by Jade Champagne and The Rhythm. Saturday, December 14th, 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3 with Taurus Riley live.
Hi, I'm Derek Stubbs.
And I'm Cindy Russell. ZNS 810 AM presents
Grand Bahama,
Get ready for the event of the year. Experience a live recording of one of the Bahamas' leading gospel ensembles, Shabbat, on stage with some of gospel's greats, along with the Grand Bahama Gospel Community. Sunday, National Heroes Day weekend, October 13th, 7 p.m., Jubilee Cathedral, East Settlers Way. It's a free event. Don't miss an experience of a lifetime.
But it doesn't stop there. You can be a part of the largest music workshop and coming together of the island's best in creative arts. Register today by scanning here or get an application from your local church. The Grand Bahama Music Workshop begins Wednesday, October 9th at 7 p.m. nightly through Friday the 11th. Sessions for choir members, praise teams, dancers, musicians, sound technicians, and media operators. The nightly sessions followed by a mass choir rehearsal to record special songs at Shabbat's live recording.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that is going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight, and they are coming your way next.
It's easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now. Here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live starting September 16th. Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine one.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
We have more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country.
We have the most years of Bahamian history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more news and local programming. We're simply the most, the new ZNS.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Vontae, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop.
2 minutes to airtime. I came back home to make sure you have the most in news and entertainment. We're simply the most.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most. The new ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Mukesh Lapinder. This is ZNS.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the national flag carrier could be hit with industrial action. Find out what's at the crux of the union's grievances and what the airline is saying about it. Also, how far are policymakers with draft legislation to enhance building codes? The minister speaks on the issue and what's the primary focus. And yellow police tape cordoning off the area where a man was shot and killed in broad daylight while youngsters watched. Hear what preliminary investigations have so far determined. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Gut-wrenching wails piercing the air as family members clamored a quiet community following news of a brazen shooting that's left their loved one dead. Our Devontae Hanna has more on the story.
The body of a 27-year-old father bagged and loaded into a waiting hearse this afternoon as detectives tried to piece together the circumstances surrounding his death, which, according to police press liaison Chief Superintendent Chrisling Skippings, happened sometime after 3 p.m. just in front of his home on Botswana Court.
This male opened fire on the victim as he held the 8-month-old toddler, shooting him multiple times. The toddler was unharmed during the incident.
A 6-year-old girl also in that vehicle witnessing the horrific incident said us at this time unable to confirm the relationship between the two.
Something is wrong with this. As a country, we have to be able to talk to our males. We have to let them know that, yeah, we will have conflicts. But we have to find different ways to resolve these conflicts.
Today's victim, the 90th homicide this year. This as police say more than half of 2024 victims have been known to police. And according to Skippings, this latest incident, no different.
Was the victim known to police? At this time, I'd say that we've had interaction with him before.
Police now on the hunt for a man who left the Flamingo Gardens area in a white Japanese vehicle.
In this particular incident, children, in the presence of an 8-month-old toddler and a 6-month-old child, I'm sure the children are traumatized. I'm asking you to reach out to the officers of the Criminal Investigations Department. Let's get this suspect off the street.
While the most recent data shows that murders have increased this year by 13%, National Security Minister the Honorable Wayne Munro last Wednesday disclosed in the House of Assembly that overall crime is down by 6%. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Well, thanks, Devontae. We turn our attention now to the Economic Affairs Minister, the Honorable Michael Alkeidas, who says the government's keeping a keen eye on developments in the dock workers' strike on East and Gulf Coast ports in the United States. Alkeidas says, thankfully, most of the items the Bahamas imports are from the West Coast. He's encouraging all to be cautiously optimistic.
Most of the shipping that comes in there comes from non-unionized ports, so that's a point of optimism. But overall, any sort of disruption in the economy, particularly when it's protracted, and has the potential to impact us, because you have a lot of moving parts. You have the shippers, you have the truckers, you have the warehouse workers, and so it's something that we're watching. I think all of the players understand the gravity of the situation, and hopefully that would incentivize them to move to the negotiating table and get this resolved as quickly as possible.
Now, just some background for you. Approximately 45,000 International Longshoremen's Association members went on strike at 12:01 a.m., stopping operations at 36 ports due to failed contract negotiations with the U.S. Maritime Alliance. Experts say it could cost the U.S. up to $4.8 billion a day. Minister Alkeidas reasons that while the country's loss may not be as great, the government's hopeful as just a few hours can create a negative outcome.
It goes to show how we here in the Bahamas have basically nothing to do with some of these developments, but it impacts us in a very fundamental way in the cost of things that we consume. And so, again, we're watching it. We're hopeful. Our advice is, like I said, if it's a few weeks, the impact would be minimal. You get into difficulty if it becomes protracted, weeks and months, and then you really begin to see the impact of it.
Meantime, in a joint release, the Ministries of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Energy and Transport and Economic Affairs assured that they've spoken with a number of food producers in the country, including SuperValu, Tropical Shipping and AML Foods, and have confirmed that the strike has not affected their supply chains and that there is no disruption to the availability of food products here in the Bahamas. Furthermore, the government said to be communicating with its trade partners to ensure the supply chain remains stable. Well, back here at home, officials are tonight hoping to avoid possible industrial action against the national flag carrier. Tonight, Corval Pyfrom reports on the airport, airline and allied workers unions' grievances with Bahamas Air that may see its members heading to the picket line.
Tonight, the union representing Bahamas Air ramp service agents is calling on the airline to reconsider its decision to outsource that department to Nassau Flight Services, a decision which could impact as many as 50 workers and could take effect by the end of the week.
All of the ramp service agents received some letters from management stating what their payout is and giving them until the 4th of this month, which is Friday, to agree to the transfer and the amount that's owed. Otherwise, they will be made redundant.
The Airport, Airline and Allied Workers Union argues that in order for there to be good industrial relations, there must be transparency and consistent communication. President Jewel Fountain says along those lines, Bahamas Air has failed.
And there's supposed to be a performance appraisal on each of the employees for the period June through May. Once they score 26 or higher, they're to get an increment added to their salary, which they have not done in many years.
Morale among workers is low, Fountain claims, a sentiment shared by ramp service agent William Hasty. He holds out hope, though, that Bahamas Air will do right by its employees.
The company is not dealing with it correctly. I feel like the company is not dealing with it correctly. They are bringing in a lot of temporary workers, and they're giving the temporary workers more privilege than the permanent workers.
Bahamas Air executives were contacted for a response to the union's concerns. Airline Board Chair Tanya Pratt has promised to issue a statement to ZNS News as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the union plans an emergency meeting with its members and a strike vote. This as it continues to seek clarity from the airline.
Does Bahamas Air plan to outsource customer service as well? Baggage? We just need to know.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Meantime, a wish come true for petroleum dealers, and at the stroke of midnight, after years of lobbying for larger profit margins, that request has been realized. Danielle Dean reports.
Local gas retailers early this morning saw a jump at the pumps after a protracted push and pull with the government. Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honourable Michael Halkitis, lets us in on why the change of heart.
Over the past year, we've seen the price of fuel come down from over $6 now to under $5.50, I think, this morning. And so we felt that given the case made by the retailers and understanding their plight as businessmen, having seen an increase in their costs over the years and not having had the benefit of a margin increase, we thought now the time was appropriate to give them that relief in the form of a margin increase.
When asked about retailer Peter Roker's concern on whether the government would foot the additional cost, Halkitis contends the government is not in a position to do so.
Any item that is not produced in the country, particularly when we talk about fuel, the price goes up, it fluctuates, it goes up and it goes down. And so that is unfortunately, in our situation, a cost of living and a cost of doing business, we consume fuel, we import fuel. We are subject to the fluctuations in the market.
Sharing similar sentiment, Rodrigo Texeira, General Manager at Shell Western Supply and Trading, who says local retailers are defenseless against global price fluctuations.
Unfortunately, most of the time here in the Bahamas, we're what we call price taker, and unfortunately at the influence or mercy of the international markets.
Halkitis encourages the motoring public to adopt saving habits and to perhaps adjust consumption to accommodate inevitable inflation. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Still to come, an update on draft legislation to upgrade building codes. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to be caught up in the rush. But when you're behind the wheel, remember, rushing can lead to disaster. Don't rush. Take your time. Remember, your life and others depends on it. Slow down. Stay alert and arrive alive. Because in the race of life, it's not about how fast you get there, but how safely.
This message is brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
Stop whatever you're doing and head to your favorite KFC. KFC is taking value to a newer, crunchier level with our new snack box, packed with one piece of juicy fried chicken, crispy fries, and a buttery biscuit, all for just $5.35. When you snack, you deserve to snack responsibly with the new delicious KFC snack box. Order your new favorite deal online with Messenger or WhatsApp Hi to 557-3663 to start your KFC order today. KFC knows value and is finger-licking good.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a shot of a freighter anchored in waters Clifton Pier in southwestern New Providence. Welcome back. Upgrading the country's building code has long been on the government's to-do list, particularly in the face of increasingly stronger storms. Now, while the Bahamas has fared well so far this Atlantic season, the death and destruction of Hurricane Helene over in the United States was reminiscent of what 2019's Hurricane Dorian left behind here in the Bahamas. 5 years later, and the communities of Grand Bahama and Abaco still struggling to rebuild. Appearing as a guest on the ZNS show, The Rundown, with host Clint Watson Monday, Works Minister, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, says they're hoping to finalize draft legislation for a revamped building code within the next 2 to 3 months. Still, he stresses the importance of enforcement.
If you look at some communities that build homes and you look at storms, you know, the devastation isn't quite extensive. But then, you know, if a storm is such massive as Dorian, you know, even though as strong as your building code, that you still, you know, could lose. You look at what just happened in Florida. Correct. You know, so I think that to a certain aspect, it can mitigate some of the issues. But when you have extreme flooding from a hurricane, 160-mile-an-hour winds, tornadoes, you can only prepare to a certain aspect.
Sweeting, who also has cabinet responsibility for Family Island Affairs, was recently in the hot seat over Eleuthera's chronic water and electricity woes. He assures, though, that there are permanent solutions to these challenges. Recently, 3 tanks on Harbor Island, North and Central Eleuthera.
The one in Harbor Island should be filled with water, or just about. The one in Governor's Harbor at the Naval Base will be filled with water by tomorrow and will be on stream by Thursday. So these are long-term solutions. I was about to say. Not just quick fixes. And also with the 163-mile road improvement project, there are also water mains replacement in that as well. So in the past, if you had water challenges in the south, and you could and you had water in Central, you can't pump water from Central to South Eleuthera because it's a disconnect. The pipe doesn't run all the way. So we're going to connect the whole island, provide areas with water that hasn't had water in decades, and then we can mitigate some of these challenging issues.
Social Services Minister, the Honourable Miles Laroda, today giving an update on the work of the Protection Against Violence Commission. The commission, formed as part of the National Strategic Plan to address gender-based violence. Its work includes oversight of data management and shelter, as well as coordination of various related entities, ensuring that care and support services are provided to affected persons.
Work on establishing the commission and a fully functioning secretariat is underway. The Department of Gender and Family Affairs will manage the secretariat and intends to operate the office at international standards for addressing gender-based violence.
The minister also laying out some of the initiatives taken to address gender-based violence efforts. He says includes embarking on a unified family court system, establishing a Department of Gender and Family Affairs, male mentoring, and a community awareness program.
The Department of Gender and Family Affairs continues its advocacy and awareness campaign on gender-based violence, domestic violence, men and women leadership, building stronger families, gender equality, CEDAW and Belém do Pará conventions, touching lives in New Providence, Grand Bahama, and throughout the Family Islands.
Meantime, just weeks after being appointed by the government, the Women's Advisory Council's gotten its first job out the way, and that's to give God thanks. The council last evening assembled for a night of prayer at Transformation Ministries International Dignity Gardens, appealing for spiritual guidance to effectively advise the government on national issues impacting women. According to Council President Charmaine Farrington, these women want to see change, and they believe it can only take place through prayer.
When we talk to our men, we believe that they will listen to us. But we don't want to just give them our ideas and our thoughts. We want to hear from on high. We want to get strategies and solutions that are going to work for this country. I sincerely believe that when we call women together, you will see a greater collaboration, and this is what the National Advisory Council will do. We'll bring together all of our stakeholders, and we will call them into action, and you will see a new women's movement in this country.
Supporting that movement, the Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the Honourable Miles Laroda.
It is fair to say in our community, when it comes to fighting the ills that exist, that even the toughest person will respond to that female, usually his mother or his grandmother, in his life or in her life, because we have some girls that go astray. And so it's good to see women taking the role in terms of trying to better the country that we all love. While there's...
Stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
Daddy's birthday. He's in Eleuthera and we're all the way in Nassau. You got it? Okay. Yes, you're right.
Eleuthera for tomorrow? No problem.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Focal Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
The Small Business Development Center has launched an initiative that's aimed at giving men a shot at business success. It's the focus of tonight's Business Beat. And with that, we head to Corval Pyfrom.
Though many won't perhaps admit it publicly, many men aspiring to get into business struggle to do so. There are the usual doubts, insecurities, trouble with funding, and even just simply not knowing how to get started. The Small Business Development Center in recent years has been aiding women entrepreneurs with mentoring and funding, but now, alas, men are getting a shot at help as well. Ahmad Young, a business analyst at the SBDC, said this Men in Business initiative launched through the center Monday arose from a gender equality survey which sought to ascertain information about the gaps in business.
From that data, we were able to prepare and tailor the program, the Men in Business Initiative, in order to support men in areas in which they said they needed assistance.
The program will give its participants 5 weeks of training and mentoring, helping them with constructing business plans, resumes, and even communication skills. Deanza Brennan is with Human Resources at the SBDC.
There are a few things that persons will have to do. One, including fill out a gender equality survey. That's something that we usually tend to do with a lot of our initiatives. And then the second thing they would have to do is we're going to have a Men's Empowerment Summit. So they would actually going to have to be a part of that as well.
Carnival Corporation and Toastmasters Club 1600 are also on board to assist with mentoring. After completing the program, the participants will be eligible for funding assistance.
Mentoring means that you have individuals who are going to pour into you, individuals who have already been where you are trying to go, and they can guide you, give you sound advice, and often criticize you in a professional way and critique you.
On the Business Beat, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Well, thanks, Corval. Now time for us to check in with LaDon and Marcellus, who joins us to give us a sneak peek of Access Now. Guys?
Makusla, did you know that the PACE Foundation brought Character Day to the Bahamas? Did you know that?
Yes, I would say
Marcellus.
I just found it out today.
Well, we have
we
have a guest in the studio this evening who's going to tell us all about it and how it all got here to the Bahamas. So stay close for that.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds good indeed. Stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
We hope that you enjoyed your flight and we look forward to serving you in the near future.
People are going crazy for Popeyes around the world. Some have camped out for hours just to try our delicious chicken. This guy stocked up on 300 crunchy, juicy chicken sandwiches, just in case. And these lovebirds celebrated their wedding with the Popeyes cake. For real. We get it, y'all chicken lovers. Because we're just as crazy to marinate our chicken for 12 hours and make every piece by hand. That crazy love, we love.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
And before we leave, a little brain teaser of sorts for you. Guess who's ranking high in a well-known luxury and lifestyle travel magazine? Well, none other than the Bahamas. The balmy skies and picture-perfect destination has been voted, alongside 9 others, that is, among the best in the world in Condé Nast Traveler's Reader's Choice Awards 2024. Under the category Best Islands in the Caribbean and the Atlantic, the Bahamas was voted #1 with a score of 99.51. The Dominican Republic came in second with 92.57, and rounding up the list of 10 was Cuba with 84.32. And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, that is good to grow. It's good enough to eat, that is good to grow.
Meet Daniel Sawyer, a young Bahamian who's turned beekeeping into a sweet business. With a passion for bees and a knack for producing top-quality honey, Sawyer is proving that you can make a living by staying busy, thanks to a little help from nature's hardest workers.
How did you get into beekeeping?
So I first started at the Exoma Foundation. I learned beekeeping through a program there called Grow Exoma. And then once I graduated high school, I actually started working there. And then once that fell down, I started my own business.
Fast forward from 2020 to now, and Sawyer has a successful business supplying honey to multiple islands.
Last year, I pulled over 100 gallons of honey. But I have honey in 3 stores in Nassau, 5 stores over here. I just recently got honey in Freeport. And I ship to, like I said, the other islands as well.
So what does Nature's Way have to offer?
I do honey, microgreens, flowers, beeswax, salt.
And apparently, he says, people get the wrong idea of bees, hence my extremely nervous look.
I have on long sleeve every day. You don't have on your gear.
But because these bees, like I say, there's a common misconception of bees. Not all bees are aggressive. These bees are Apis mellifera ligustica, which are Italian bees. So these are very gentle bees. These aren't Africanized bees you may hear a story about, or bees killing people. These are not these type of bees.
That said, Sawyer encourages you to consider a career in beekeeping and honey production.
So with beekeeping, from March to August, you're doing work, but you have to add a couple months off to chill, get your bees in order, do business contracts, get more knowledgeable of what you need to do, plan for the next year. So everything doesn't have to be hard. Like, if you know you can do it, you have the skill set to do it, it's right there. The opportunities are right there. And people are looking to get people into agriculture stuff. Like, there are people interested who are willing to sponsor and invest in people who has a vision. You can't just say, oh, I want to do it and don't have that. You have to have a vision and know what you're doing, and people who believe in you, you can get it done.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
At the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, I'm Marcellus Hall. This is ZNS. Big news, the University of the Bahamas announces its career fair's title sponsor. Details coming up.
And speaking of fairs, Mount Carmel Academy kicks off the school year with its annual Clubs Fair.
Plus, it's October 1st, which means it's Customer Experience Day, and BTC celebrating in a big way.
Access Now starts now.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall.
And I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Well, today is World Customer Experience Day, so I'd like to thank all of our customers and hope they've had a wonderful experience here with us.
As only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And to continue that experience, let's dive right into the news this evening as we take a look at our title sponsor for the University of the Bahamas' upcoming career fair. They announced who that was. It's Shell Western Trading and Supply. General Manager at the corporation, Rodrigo Teixeira, says he deems it an honor to have a role in the education of students.
We keep on talking about creating the leaders of tomorrow. But the leaders of tomorrow, unfortunately, you have to train them today, and you're not going to receive or see the results tomorrow. It's going to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And it takes true, genuine partners to work together, to have that patience, to have that vision.
Now, Teixeira hopes that sponsoring the university will, in turn, create a better nation.
We worked together for the last 3 years to try to understand better what was key for the university, but equally understand what was key for the Bahamas and for companies like Shell. And truly, it's a pleasure to be here today representing Shell Western Supply and Trading as title sponsor, because it shows our commitment to the Bahamas, to the future generation of talents. And that brings me to my next point, is we will never see that as the end of the road. That's actually the beginning of a fantastic journey.
Students at Mount Carmel are kicking off the school year with enthusiasm as their yearly club fair opens doors to new activities and opportunities. Diane Dorset was there and has more on how students are getting involved.
Carmel's Club Fair on Friday offered everything from academic clubs to artistic and athletic activities. There was something for everyone.
I'm excited to join Toastmasters and Junior Achievement. Toastmasters because it will help me with my speech, and Junior Achievement because it can also help me with colleges and universities.
Leader of the Young Chefs Club and teacher, Ms. Eloise Wims, and Vice President membership of Toastmasters Club 1600, Azano Major, shared the significance of their clubs for students.
So one of the things that we're doing in our club is practicing healthy eating, how to prepare, cook, and serve healthy dishes. Healthy living encourages a better lifestyle, longer life, if you must say so.
For students, Toastmasters is important for communication and leadership skills. Normally we talk about some of the things you should learn while in school, and definitely communication is at the top of the list. It prepares you for life, interactions in the workplace, and of course in your interpersonal relationships.
Mount Carmel Preparatory Academy's Vice Principal, Rasheen Bethel, explained the purpose of the club fair and the significance of extracurricular activities in the students' growth and development.
So today here at Mount Carmel, we thought it fitting to invite a few external organizations to come and partner with us. Normally, schools are the ones asking for assistance. Today, we are the ones giving. We're giving back to the community. Our theme this year is planting seeds for the future, growing in greatness. And one of our goals/seeds is fostering a partnership and collaboration with different organizations.
Now, with the club fair underway, students at Mount Carmel are excited to get involved, build friendships, and develop new skills that will last a lifetime. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
CX Day, or Customer Experience Day, is a global celebration of companies and professionals creating great experiences for their customers. This day is a reminder to reflect and be proactive about how we can continuously improve customer experience, and BTC is going to do just that. The CEO of BTC sharing more.
Keep in mind the customer-first mindset, which means we work backwards from the desired experience. So today, we will hear from customers to hear what their points of pain are, to hear the opportunities we have to raise the bar on ourselves and do better.
They're going to tell us about, their service, about how they feel about our brand, about the people that serve them. And we don't just want to use this opportunity just to talk to them, but we really want to take back some of the great concerns that they have. We want to hear what we're doing great and continue to do those things, but we also want to hear where we can improve as well and focus on those things that we can do better.
Now, customers engaged with representatives and provided feedback on their experiences. The event featured exclusive promotions, giveaways, and opportunities for customers to learn about new services.
I've been a customer decades and decades, some 30 plus years.
If you can have like a cheat sheet for us, if you're traveling and you need to take your data roaming off, what does it mean when I take my data roaming off? What does it mean? How do I save costs to make sure that I don't get charged?
I'm in the mountains, looking in the clouds, looking at the view, and then I get a ding. Somebody texted me, sent me a WhatsApp message, and I realized that I had my roaming. And we were in the clouds, and I was roaming.
Well, coming up after the break, Jamia Pratt-Ramming joins us tonight, live in studio, to talk about Character Day. Stay close. We'll be right back.
Hey, are you looking to save for a big purchase or occasion? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond, and I am guaranteed to earn interest on your money with terms ranging from 1 to 6 years. Government savings bonds are safe, and for as little as $100, you can start to save for your future. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond, and I'm available to any Bahamian, guaranteed. Go to the Central Bank website and search savings bonds for more details.
We here at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcons, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Brazos Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
And you're looking at a live shot over the Ministry of Works there. Yes, Works getting worked again. If you know, you know. What we all know, though, is that it's time for Family Island News. Well, St. Andrew's Anglican School in Georgetown, Exuma, held a special ceremony recently to celebrate some of its brightest students and the remarkable accomplishments. Our Corville Python was there for the celebration.
Some words of wisdom from the Member of Parliament for Exuma, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, to these shining stars, St. Andrew's Anglican School students whose academic performance in the last school year was celebrated during a special prize-giving ceremony last Friday.
You can go around the world. You can do whatever you wish. You can be whoever you wish to be, and you can compete with anybody, anywhere, as a result of the education that you receive right here at St. Andrew's Anglican School.
From grades 1 all the way up to 11, their parents looking on, faces beaming with smiles and a sense of pride filling the room. Stay the course, continue the mission, is the message the DPM and Exuma MP gave the students.
I tell you this with great assurance, because as a boy from Forbes Hill, Little Exuma, I've been able to do just that.
School principal Tamara Monk are proud of her school's history of producing strong academic performers and believes this celebration is well deserved.
We were able to get our honor roll students. We were able to see our first, second, and third place proficiency students, principal list students, and of course, even those who are honorably mentioned and those who are not quite there yet, but we would have awarded them the effort award. So it's a reason to celebrate our students, where we have parents and teachers and well-wishers and friends of St. Andrew's Anglican School just celebrating our students today.
Celebrating exactly what the day's theme says, academic excellence in action. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Some 8 years ago, the PACE Foundation came on board to recognize Character Day here in the Bahamas on the 16th of October. The special day focuses on building virtues, love, humanity, and character development. Joining us live in studio this evening to share more about plans on tap for the initiative this year is Family Island Representative for South and Central Bahamas, Jamia Pratt-Ramming. Jamia, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you very much, LaDawn.
So, Jamia, talk to us a little bit about Character Day and its impact here in the Bahamas.
Character Day was initially a global initiative that started in 2014. And Tiffany Shaylin, our award-winning producer and the founder of Let It Ripple, a nonprofit organization, would have started Character Day, and it would have been a global event. The event dwindled down, but it was picked up by the PACE Foundation, and we now celebrate Character Day in the Bahamas. This year it's celebrated on October 16th, but you can have Character Day events any day in October or November. And the purpose of Character Day is to focus on building our assets. And as a nation, our assets are our youth. Enforcing and fostering in them traits and virtues that, along with academics, will help them to succeed in life. Caring, honesty, humanity, building civic skills and civic mindedness that's going to empower them to continue to build our nation.
I know 8 years is a relatively short period. Talk to us about the success of the initiative so far.
Initially, Character Day, when it started, I think it resembled another program, what was called Character Counts, but it had a small impact in terms of the number of institutions. Now last year, we had over 100 institutions that took place, schools, different businesses and civic organizations. We had 220 participants at our summer workshops. We hosted a 3-day summer workshop, 2 days in New Providence, 1 day in Grand Bahama. And the workshop caters to school counselors, teachers, any youth worker who's interested in promoting the development of character.
How effective can you say those workshops have been since you guys have started?
I would say that it's blossoming and it's blooming very well. They do a Hidden Heroes Award. So every year we ask persons in the community to nominate those hidden heroes, persons that are going above and beyond, that aren't noticed, but they are doing exceptional things to promote the youth and each other and supporting persons in the community. And on Character Day, which is the 16th of October this year, the hidden heroes who are nominated and who win are awarded. They're celebrated as persons who are building the nation, making the Bahamas a beautiful place to live. They also have a grant program. Persons who are interested in hosting events that last longer than Character Day can apply for grants. It's a little small something to get it off the ground. Some schools do peace gardens. Some schools do different workshops for students that speak specifically to building peace builders. So what it is that you need to do to be a peace builder: conflict resolution skills, decision making, anger management. And oftentimes we find, especially with the theme this year being Peace Begins With Me, that we need to arm our students with the information, arm our community with the information that's needed so that we can have a better, more beautiful Bahamas.
So just give us a little peek of what's going to happen on October 16th, some of the events.
So on October 16th, across the nation, we will have schools participating in different events. Assemblies, Some schools have days where they actually have rallies, where they'll invite in different presenters or singers or artists to do different things, sing poetry. We have events also from other schools where they create different works. Like one school one year did a video about their island because the theme that year was Let Your Light Shine. And St. Salvador School focused on the lighthouse and the importance of light, how everything needs to be illuminated, and everybody has a different twist on what they want to do. So some schools, some places, some institutions do something small, but then others do it big. So it all depends, but we have lots of different activities that persons brainstorm and come up with to give it their own twist, their own flair, to make Character Day personal for their institution.
Jamia, thank you so much for joining us here on the Bahamas Tonight. Access Now. All the best to you and your team on Character Day. Thank you so much. Don't you move. Marcellus is coming up in sports right after the break.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
Well, welcome to your ZNAS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. The sport of rowing getting some attention these days. That's because the Sandals Foundation coming forward to give them a much-needed donation of some equipment that they hope will go a long way towards continuing the development of sport here in the country. Now, coming forward to assist with the Sandals Foundation is President Adam Stewart, who says the decision to help was an easy one.
This one was just really, really unique from the point of view that it's under the category of sport.
And we'll have more from our Charles Fisher on that coming up a little bit later on. He's got a full report on what's going on with the rowing situation. Meanwhile, as promised, we dig deeper into the sport of pickleball, which has been an ongoing phenomenon. As of late, one of our local schools has jumped on with both feet. And for that, we have our report from Amajal Knowles.
Widely regarded as the fastest growing sport in the world, and it has been co-signed by celebrities such as Tom Brady and Leonardo DiCaprio. Pickleball, slowly but surely making strides here in the Bahamas, more so at a local school that has added the burgeoning phenomenon to its curriculum. The school in question, Blairwood Academy. Here's its director, Kim Kuskalis.
So great for our kids. Our kids learn visually, auditorially, they learn kinesthetically especially, and multisensory, and this is a great way for our kids because a lot of our students at Blairwood are very athletic. Lots are academic, but some go on to do more athletics. So we thought this was just such a great way to incorporate it into our daily routine.
She adds that the reception from students has indeed been positive.
Oh my gosh, they have actually enjoyed it. I think at first they were a little skittish. What's happening here? What are we doing? What are we playing? What is this? And it's a mix between ping pong, tennis, and badminton in a way. A lot of the same kind of skills go into it.
Blairwood, being one of the first schools to have a court designed specifically for pickleball, hopes that one day others can add it to its curriculum as well. For Zenith Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
And that's it. Your check on sports for you here on this Tuesday. We do have a look at the weather coming up. Stay with us.
Ultratech in your car. Fill up with Rubis Ultratech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Rubis Ultratech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Rubis Ultratech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Rubis Ultratech.
It's time for your Access weather forecast and our live weather radar showing very little activity out there, and that's because we're under the influence of a high pressure system. And right now we're going to take you into our boating forecast, which is brought to you by Live Business, where you're always protected during the worst storms. And for all areas of the Bahamas, those winds, they're going to be light and variable with flat sea conditions. Now, tide-wise, you can expect a high tide at 7:56 this evening, a second high tide at 8:16 tomorrow morning. And it's now time for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by the Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather forecast.
All right, thanks, Basil. Looks like sunshine, full steam ahead. Good stuff.
Yes, Marcellus, no time better than to turn things over to Matea Cunningham for Let's Talk Socials.
Hey, this is Let's Talk Socials, the place to quench your social media fix. What's buzzing in socials today? Well, podcasts, of course, but not just any podcast, Bahamian short-form podcast. We're talking podcasts whose sole purposes are to strike up interesting, yet possibly controversial conversations. Let's take a look at two who have been showing up on a lot of our For You pages.
I mean, if I feel like I was gonna get food for the rest of my life from somewhere else, I would definitely do it, but I'm not stupid. So, yeah, I ain't telling her.
A woman has to subject herself to an unhealed man and become his punching bag.
As you can see, the editing, style, and feel of these podcast clips are all things modern, trendy, and quick. I put emphasis on quick because we know in today's digital age, our attention spans have shrunk. But that's for another episode of Let's Talk Socials. This style of content is pretty digestible, which is why it's been resonating with the Bahamian audience. So, the big question is, does this qualify as a podcast, though? And can anyone just start a podcast? There was a point in time where producing a podcast literally required an entire production team. But it seems like Gen Z isn't allowing a lack of high-tech equipment to prevent them from producing their podcast content. As always, socialites, I'd love to get your thoughts on our digital polls. Do you prefer traditional long-term podcasts or the newer, quicker, short-form podcasts? I'm Mateo, your social butterfly, and this has been Let's Talk Social.
All right, well, that's a wrap for us tonight, LaDawn.
Another day, another dollar, right, Marcellus?
Hey, that's what they say. By the way, I got threatened today about being too close to you all the time. Some guy says, don't sit too close to his woman. So.
Wow, okay, we're going to go, yes.
Clint Watson is coming up next with the rundown. Stay with us.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Gale, and I'm inviting you to be a part of a journey where we open the Word of God to receive strength, to receive empowerment from the Scriptures as they have been written. Get your Bibles, get your cup of coffee or your tea, because this journey is gonna be great. This is your day of victory.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At Centerville, I'm LaDawn Davis. This is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
That, of course, was the Mighty Saxon Superstars performance recently, of course, showing you just what Jonkanu is all about. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. Well, as you can tell, we are focusing tonight's show on the greatest show on earth and our #1 cultural expression, Jonkanu. The recent debacle with the Valley Boys Jonkanu group and the split resulting in the world-famous Valley Boys and the Way Forward Valley Boys, now before the courts, has shed the spotlight on the cultural expression, with many dismayed by the rumblings. Now, in comes the Jonkanu Corporation of New Providence, the governing body for the parades in the capital, and decides that the side who will rush on Boxing Day and New Year's Day in Category A, the coveted spot, will be the world-famous Valley Boys. And the Way Forward Valley Boys has been reduced to a fun group in Category F. Well, as you can imagine, that didn't sit well with Trevor Davis and his team, who plans to kind of protest it. It came as a decision from the JCNP. But what's also not sitting well is that they were given seed money, some people say to the tune of the Category A groups, even though they are rushing in the fun group category. It's now caused other groups to complain about seed money and what's fair and what's not. But let's take you back to how it all kind of played out in the media before we start talking about it tonight. Devontae Hanna had been covering the ongoing saga for the controversial announcement and what took place around it. Talked to one of the group's officials as well as the JCNP chairman. Take a look at that package.
They say that's it. It's over when the fat lady sings, and today the JCNP doing exactly that. They reaffirmed their position as it relates to the Valley Boys, and they say that the Valley Boys, represented or led by Brian Adderley, will represent the group as the Category A group, and Trevor Davis and co. will have to rush on Bay Street as a fun group.
This entire situation has been an embarrassment for the Jonkanu community, for the Valley Boys, and the JCNP as a body wished for it to be concluded.
John Williams, frontline manager of the Valley Boys, led by Brian Adderley, says the group is ready to take on Bay Street, despite reports that 80% of the members left.
We have not lost as many people as persons have tried to tell you guys. We have full sections, a full functioning backline, girls, front line, Marshall team, everything, all alike.
It was announced that the government would give both factions seed funding of $30,000. Ultimately, the JCNP sent Trevor Davis and the Way Forward Committee to the fun category, ineligible to compete this go-around.
The persons that are critics of the JCNP, that is from a standpoint of ignorance. They do not understand the JCNP. They do not understand how the administration of Jonkanu works.
And though the Minister of Culture warned that the decision could very well backfire, Miller says members of the JCNP are not concerned.
So we don't think that this will negatively impact the parade. In our society, the Bahamas, Bahamians, we love drama. So I anticipate that the sales will even peak more.
And of course, this decision is behind them, according to Miller. And he says that what they will now focus on is ensuring that this Jonkanu parade is one of the best to ever be held, even though it's going to be surrounded by all of the drama. In fact, he has called this a disappointment. But of course, they say that they are ready to move on, and that's from both factions as well as the JCNP.
All right, that was our Devontae Hanna reporting. So since then, there's been a lot of discussion about what's happening and whether the JCNP has the autonomy and the power to make those such decisions. And of course, people are questioning how exactly did they make those decisions, based on pretty much what? What gives them the power to make those decisions, decide who can rush in a category, who can't rush? Do they have legislative support behind them and power behind them? Or is it just some self-inflicted power People are questioning, well, doesn't the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture have the final say as to what happens in Junkanoo? A lot of questions that are coming up. And of course, people, as you heard the JCNP chairman say, don't understand their role. So, of course, tonight our question is, what is your role? And who gave you the power? Was it invested in yourself, by yourself, or did you get some governing authority to say, well, you're in charge now. You make the decisions that you need to make, and let's see how it all plays out. So it'll be interesting to hear what the JCNP has to say, and then it'll be interesting to hear what the rules of the Junkanoo parades, Boxing Day, New Year's, say, and then hopefully we can put those together and come to understanding of why the decision was made and what is happening next. Clearly, there's a faction of the Valley Boys that's not happy because nobody wants to be reduced to a fun category unless you're just that, a Junkanoo group rushing for fun. But we know that's not the case. The Valley Boys and the likes of the big boys want to compete to win. And can you win in the fun category? Will the Valley Boys way forward actually rush in that category? Or will they come together and resolve the matter? Well, of course, that's a question only Valley Boys can answer, and it's not for us to determine. But I'm believing right now, Valley Boys fans are hoping and praying that the two sides reconcile and can come together as one group and rush in that coveted spot so that they can be defeated. I shouldn't say that. Not defeated, but so that they can compete, and the judges will determine what happens there. So we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, guess who's going to be here? The JCNP chairman, and as well as the secretary, assistant secretary, and maybe the chairman of the Rules Committee will be here as well. And we're going to find out exactly who gave you the power to determine the fate of the Valley Boys. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this. Stay close.
JBI, lemon and lime.
One of the best products you can find anywhere. This is one of my favorites, and I have lots of favorites at JBI.
This is very rich. I put this in everything, whether I'm baking, whether I'm doing peas and rice, coconut and rice, or you're doing some curry and you want your cream to be in your curry, you can do everything with that.
Oh, I love this with my nice lime. It goes with my tuna salad. When I put that lime and that great food, spicy food I love. So try JBI, lemon and lime.
Try JBI. Happy anniversary to JBI.
JBI. To the world.
Thank you, Muhammad.
Welcome back to the show. Special welcome to everyone in the lines and on Facebook, and those of you joining us by YouTube. Welcome to the Rundown. So good to have you, and I know you're going to put your comments there, your questions there, and we'll take them. All right, so now back to our Junkanoo Talks. Just before the break, we spoke about the issues that are plaguing the sector right now. We wanted to bring in the JCNP to bring down the conversation to discuss this and other matters surrounding their role. So please welcome for me the Assistant Secretary of the JCNP, Ivan Thompson, and Chairman of the Rules Committee, Rory Saunders. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. We were expecting to have the chairman, Mr. Miller, but like you said, y'all can handle it. You don't need to come. Okay, so let's see just how well you handle it. Let's talk, first of all, about who giveth thee the power to determine who can rush and which category they rush in. What empowers the JCNP to be able to make that decision?
Well, Clint, Bahamas, the JCNP was established 20 years ago. In fact, we're celebrating 20 years this year as an organization to manage the New Providence Boxing and New Year's Day Parade. And it came about because Junkanoos felt that they were capable enough to manage certain aspects of their own affairs. And so we came into an agreement with the government, the then government of the Bahamas, and it was a drafted agreement that the government will execute a certain portion of the parades, and the JCNP, or the government, will manage certain portions of the parade, and the JCNP will manage a certain portion of the parade. So we came together and worked in tandem to manage the New Providence parades, okay? And we did this through government's cooperation, and also we did it through corporate funding. Okay, and through our corporate funding, that's how we pay the prize monies. That's how we pay for judges to be trained. So it kind of alleviates some of the financial burden on the government through our corporate partnership that we have. And so we've been doing this for 20 years and going strong. And so we have the understanding, with the government of the Bahamas, that they will manage certain aspects, and the JCNP will manage certain aspects, and we've been doing that amicably 20 years now.
How did you come to the decision regarding the Valley Boys on which factor would rush in the fun group versus which factor would have the coveted A block spot?
Well, I will speak to the registration aspect of it, and I will allow Rory to speak to the rules aspect of it.
Thank you.
Okay, the registration initially comes for the Secretariat. That's myself and Natasha, our Secretary of the JCNP. We have, after the Junkanoo season closes, every Junkanoo group must register for the new upcoming season.
That's mandatory.
That's mandatory, okay? They must register. There is a deadline in which they must submit an application with the applicable fee, and we accept that. If it's in on time, we take it, and those groups are then duly registered to participate in the next upcoming Junkanoo season. And that is what happens in this case. So usually, most of our members who have been existing members for the entire 20 years were the ones that submitted their same forms, or if there was a change in executive for any particular group, they will indicate that through a proper communication to the JCNP that there's been a change in their executive structure, or there's a different leader, or there are different representatives of that group that will sit on the JCNP to represent that particular group or their interest. And that's how it works. And so the application fee, the payment, and that's basically it.
And so what did you receive as a JCNP, as an organization, from the Valley Boys? What did you receive?
Well, speaking specifically to the Valley Boys, on March the 3rd, we received the application from the Valley Boys with the applicable fees. Okay, and that's what we...
And that Valley, when you say the Valley Boys, you're referring to the world-famous Valley Boys.
The world-famous, well, it was only one, yeah, the one that was chaired by Mr. Brian Addy, because there was only one Valley Boys at that time.
At that time. This would have been before all of this took place.
Absolutely,
So after the last set of parades, they resubmitted for...
Yes, they resubmitted as they did for the past 20 years with the same form, same signature.
So this would have been before, obviously, the controversy.
Absolutely, yes, that's correct, yes. And so on the 24th of May, we received communications again that there was a certain facet not authorized to represent the Valley Boys. And we are simply saying, well, that is an issue then for that particular group. That's not a JCNP issue, okay? So if that's an issue that you need to trash out legally, okay, without involving the JCNP. We manage the parades. We don't get into a group's affairs, okay? The groups manage their own affairs, okay? And once we receive a duplicate application with a duplicate payment, we then thought it best to send that back because you cannot have two applications
so then
with the same name.
Forward, sending their application
with the same name as well.
Fees.
Absolutely. Yes.
So you rejected that because you'd already received something.
We've already received one
boys.
thing again, exactly. We can't receive two applications that says Clint Watson. You know, we received one February, you come back in May, application with Clint Watson again. So we just send the latter one back.
What does the rule say, sir?
The JCNP is made up of member groups. It's not made up of individuals. So member groups send their representatives to the JCNP and they're empowered to make decisions on behalf of those groups. Now, the rules speak to the fact that the JCNP has the power to determine which date, and normally it is June 30th, that we cut off receiving any applications for the upcoming Junkanoo parades for Boxing Day or New Year's. Now, those registrations can be from existing groups, or if there's a new group, application can come in. New groups are treated differently from existing groups. Existing groups only have to confirm that they wish to, that they are confirming their participation in the upcoming parades by that date. If they do not do that, they are subject to the same rule that they didn't submit their application. Those applications for new groups have a process where we look at them, they're brought to the body of the JCNP, and whatever division they are trying to enter in, there's a vote that is taken, and if their application is accepted, a new group will then, for the upcoming parade, have to exhibit to show that they have all of the criteria to perform in the parade. Their very next parade, if they are successful in their exhibiting, the next parade they can then go for a prize. That is the process. In this particular instance, like was said, there was already an application. The second application was sent back. The funds were sent back. So the crux of the matter is that the second Valley Boys entity, led by Mr. Trevor Davis, is not registered with the JCNP. Hence, we cannot stop them from parading on Bay Street. They can come to Bay Street, they can parade as a fun category group. And that is the process.
When we look at the issue that people are trying to raise, and I'll give you a number of scenarios so you can respond to them. Obviously, one of them is they're saying if the way forward is the larger group where most of the people have migrated to and so forth, is that even a concern of the JCNP? If people say, okay, with the brass section and a majority of the people are with the way forward, so the world famous Valley Boys don't really have the numbers. The real Valley Boys have gone the way forward. Is that even your concern?
No, that is not a concern for the JCNP. The JCNP groups show up on Bay Street and they're required to meet their eligibility criteria. So when they show up to the parade, if they are supposed to bring 10 off-the-shoulder dancers, and at that time they do not bring 10 off-the-shoulder,
then that's when they're marked accordingly.
That is when they are marked. We're not concerned with our practices.
Or numbers.
We're not concerned with side rushes like Labor Day and all the different things. We're not. The JCNP does not control those parades.
So what is the number requirement for an A category group on Bay Street?
201 members.
So if they don't have the 201 members and they're disqualified, they can't rush, and you'll hear them saying the Valley Boys are disqualified.
They can rush.
Yeah.
Oh, but they just be disqualified.
Exactly.
Right. Now, there are some other requirements that they must also bring. The 201 members, a brass section, 12 choreographed girls, 2 step-down costumes, a lead costume, and a banner. So there are other, if they fail any of those, they are disqualified. They can rush because they may be able to protest that decision. But If they do not have them and it's found that they don't have them, they're disqualified.
And it has happened with other groups, as we've seen years in the past.
There's some groups who get disqualified every year.
So it's that they don't meet the criteria, the eligibility to, to compete.
If we have chronic people who are violating every year, why are we still putting them in category A?
Well, again, there's no mechanism in place to really determine that to move them from category A at this
There is no
particular time.
decision. You mean in all of these rules and
there's
policies
no-
you have, you don't have a decision that if somebody consistently has been disqualified because they're not meeting the mark, that they no longer will be eligible for category A? You have nothing to speak to
There are
that?
some mechanisms we have in place where they are not able to vote and make decisions in the JCNB. But let's put it like this, Clint. I keep winning. Do I punish you by now sending you to A? You're winning the B category. Do I punish you now by sending you to the A category?
Maybe they don't have the numbers.
Well, so, again, at this particular time, we have discussed it. And at this particular time, we have not made that definitive decision yet.
Do you have based on what the rules say, do you have the authority to remove somebody from the A category and put them to the B?
Not at this time.
It must be a decision of theirs to do so.
So how can a group get into the A category?
Like Rory alluded to, you can apply. You send a formal letter into the JCNP. It is read to the body. The body discusses it. Then they vote on it. And after they vote to accept it, then, like Rory said, your first parade is you fall into the E category, which is an exhibition group. You exhibit to ensure that you meet all of the criteria for that group. And he stated that the step down, the lead costume, the banner, the choreograph. Once you would have met those eligibility, then your next parade will be a competing parade. Okay, and that's how it works. Had the other person presented an application in a different name, we would have treated it as a new application. But that was not the case. They decided that they need to hang on to a name that already existed. Hence, that created a lot of problems.
So the Valley Boys Way Forward is not different from the Valley Boys, world famous Valley Boys?
We've never had a Valley Boys Way Forward. We never had, they just had the Valley Boys. Every application is just the Valley Boys. The Valley Boys.
Was it the world famous Valley Boys, or it was always the Valley Boys?
The Valley Boys.
So here you are now faced with this Valley Boys who's in the parade, and then you have the fun group Valley Boys, and that's permitted that you can have two names that are the same in different categories?
Yeah, you can have two names. If you can remember, there was a time when we had, in the B category, there were two groups that essentially had part of the same name, Colors and Colors Entertainment.
Right.
Right. You can have it. Now, the difference to me in this, from what I've heard and what is being articulated, is that we have not, they're saying that it's not a split. It is just two different fractions
of the same group.
Of the same group.
Okay, so let me understand this. It's not a split, but it's just two fractions.
Two fractions.
So what are two fractions?
Well, I'm only speaking about what was articulated to us.
But aren't two fractions
a part of a whole?
That's what I'm thinking. A split is you take something and you divide it in two.
That is two, right.
A fraction is you take something that can be divided.
Because they both want to be identified with the same name and the same organization. And that is a problem that they have to have their come to Jesus moment, Clint. We can't do it for them. They have to decide their own fate. We can't do it for them. They have to come to their moment of reconciliation. We cannot do that for them. Okay? Ours is just to manage, to apply the rules, and that's simply it. We're not an adjudicator. You understand? We're not a referee. We don't do those things. We simply manage the parades, and that's it.
I want to ask you, what do you think will happen legally if there's a decision made and it's not the one who's registered? What do you do then?
Well, that's easy. Because it was already registered and signed off by Mr. Brian Adley, and if a court determines that he have to change his names, I could say, let's say he have to change his name, and he changes his name to the Masqueraders, then the Masqueraders will be in the A category competing, and the Valley Boys will still be, he's duly registered.
Yes.
The Valley Boys
so
will still...
he's holding the jackpot right now because he's the one who signed.
Absolutely. So
and he can change his name tomorrow if he wishes to.
Yes, and if he changes his name tomorrow, then it will be him that competes. That's the rules. So it's.
In fact, if you look at it, we really do not even participate on Bay Street under a group name. There's no requirement for you to have a group name on your banner. You participate under a number that is issued to you by the JCNP.
Yes.
So if you come to Bay Street and don't have your group name on it, there's no penalty. There's
just a number. Your
just
number
a
must be
number.
on there.
That is what you must have.
Patrice Farrington is in the Lions Den. She says, make it make sense. This should have been understood from the beginning. Do Junkanoo groups understand what the rules say?
Yeah. We spend a lot of time and energy going over the rules with the representatives of the individual groups. We employ them to go back to their groups and to explain the rules to their groups. We also post the rules on our website, on Facebook and all of those things to make it available to the wider public. But what we found is it is more exciting to say something that is not a fact than to say what the facts are. All of those persons were told, both fractions were told what the rules are and what their positions on the parade were long ago.
Bernadette Gardner, who's in the Lions Den, says, good night, Clint. I concur with your comments about the structure of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence. Since this Valley Boys tobacco came to the attention of the public, I have wanted to view the articles and memorandum of association or similar documents, which would have been registered at the Registrar General's office. Can these gentlemen confirm for me that I may indeed access these documents from there?
Good, right?
I'm not going to be able to confirm that. I can say that, again, we have had a mandate from successive governments. In fact, we have signed contracts with governments to administrate the parades. We are looking at every year, we look at our rules, we look at our procedures. We are working on our constitution to ensure that we have those things and whatnot. We are not a regular business, right? This is a Junkanoo groups getting together and managing their affairs. So a lot of things what a regular business may have, and I dare say we have in some instances, more standard operation standards and whatnot than some business groups that have been through. We have been to court several times, and our decisions have been upheld by the Supreme Court of this country, right, and whatnot. So whatever we are doing is standing the test of time.
And we are a corporation, so we're registered as such.
Yes.
We are registered legally with government as a registered corporation. Okay, we're not required, Junkanoo is not required to be under the NPO heading of the NPO umbrella. It's not a requirement for us. It's like the churches, but you know, other organizations may fit that requirement, but we are exempted from that aspect of it. And like I want to say as well, Clint, all of the persons that the member groups, they contribute to the composition of the rules.
Right.
They're just not thrusted upon anyone arbitrarily. They're examined. Rory chairs the committee. Rory have meetings every week for sometimes as much as 6 months at a time, going through, examining the rules, making sure everybody, they contribute to the composition of the rules. This is the rules of the government, including persons from both sides of the fence that have a dispute today.
I was about to ask you, because you said the JCNP is made up of Junkanoo groups.
Absolutely.
So who's representing the Valley Boys right now in the JCNP?
Which Valley? Brian Adley. Brian Adley, the registered group, has representatives there. The other fraction does not, because they're not members. So they cannot come to our meetings.
But some sat on the JCNP in the past.
Yes.
In the past, when it was the Valley Boys.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation and talk about more roles that the JCNP plays and how they administer parades, particularly the upcoming one. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this. Take
JMC
KCTCI and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring Kami and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellen, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, VVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Swinger and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock.
Pod sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
So we're just gonna add some spinach in there, gonna bring out all that flavor.
From quick and easy meals on the go to savory and delicious down-home delights, dishing it up is what we do.
I'm Chef Manny. I'll be the new host of Dishing It Up Season 2, and I'm inviting you to my kitchen here at Manuelo's.
And together, we're cooking up a new season of delicious Bahamian dishes. Welcome back to Dishing It Up.
Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most important cause of hepatitis worldwide is viruses, of which there are 5 main types: A, B, C, D, and E. Hepatitis B and C are major health challenges globally, affecting over 300 million persons worldwide. The suspicion of hepatitis may be a challenge, as there are typically no symptoms. However, if infected, non-specific symptoms may include decreased appetite, nausea, vague abdominal discomfort, jaundice or yellow eyes, and abnormal liver function tests. If not treated, hepatitis of any type can lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer, which leads to over 1 million deaths worldwide. If you suspect you may have been exposed to the virus that causes hepatitis, talk to your doctor today and get tested.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority in conjunction with the Medical Association of the Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to The Rundown. My guest tonight is the Assistant Secretary of the JCNB, Ivan Thompson. And of course, we're talking to the Chairman of the Parades Management Committee, the Parades Rules Committee, I should say. And I'm going to get the name because the teleprompter person obviously gone sleep early tonight. And so the name of course, Mr. Rory Sanders, who is the Chairman of the Rules Committee. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We were talking before the break about how this whole matter comes to play with the Valley Boys and the split fraction, which is indeed unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate that this is what it's come to, because the Valley Boys, it has been a staple, a part of Junkanoo's. They've won. They used to, the Valley Boys, you talk to the members of the Valley Boys, they quote a line saying they're the most winningest group in Junkanoo. Yes. And so it's unfortunate. I mean, I used to get tired of hearing that, but especially after they started going on a losing streak. But it's they're entitled to say it. They've won a lot of parades. Yes. They've had a lot of noted people who rushed with them. The former Prime Minister rushed with them. The present Prime Minister is a supporter of the Valley Boys. And so they see that this is what it's come to. And that it could possibly cause there to be the Valley Boys as you know it no more. It's a concern. It's a concern, especially if they are asked to change the name, the fraction that it's going to rush in the category. If it turns out that between now and Boxing Day they have to change their name, then who's going to recognize them? Who's going to be shouting when they're coming out? Who in the morning, who can shout, they scared. But you're gonna say, the masqueraders or don't call it masqueraders, that's another thing. They scared, the over-the-hillers coming, the over-the-hillers coming. It just doesn't make sense. And one thing, you want to have fair competition. You know, Saxons are hungry to beat somebody, again, of stature.
Clint, let me just put it out here right now.
Yes.
Junkanoo is more than Saxons and Valley, okay? Let me rest this on the table.
It certainly is.
Okay, so
it certainly is.
Yes, there's the group with the rich history, but I don't want you to discount the contributions made by the One Family Junkanoo group.
They're amazing.
The Roots Junkanoo group.
Amazing.
The Genesis.
Amazing.
You know, and even though, you know, music makers back in the 70s and early 80s, they were on the winning streak. They were the ones that used to beat the Valley Boys. You check history. So they also had a very good history and a rich history in Junkanoo. So please do not discredit all of these.
No, they're all good.
And the
They're
A
all
groups
good.
and the B groups as well alike.
Yes.
And the individuals,
Yes.
you know.
It's still Saxons.
Yes.
It's still Saxons.
Well, I personally salute the Valley Boys for being on Bay Street for 60 years plus.
Yes.
It is difficult to continue to go out with your hat in your hand asking for sponsorship and all of that.
Yeah.
So they should be commended.
And this is why I believe, and I will say this on record, that when you have a history as rich as 60 years, 60 plus, you cannot allow egos to destroy that.
Unfortunately,
there
egos
ought to be, for the sake of the institution, some art of compromise. And I think I want to say this so that people are listening, right? When you have an organization that has paved the way and that has been remarkable in its presentation of Junkanoo, no way ever should there be people or personalities that can easily wipe that out and you don't have representation one year at the strength that you normally have it. Organizations ought to be bigger than people who would lead them. And there ought to be mechanisms in place that whenever people who lead them believe that it's about them, that they go to the next level. Now, we could argue as to why this took place. If you listen to the story as to how this split took place, there are some concerns there about how it was being run and about the people who were running it and whether or not it was representing the institution or whether there was personal gain there. And so this is why there led to a split. You talk to people, this is why they thought there ought to be an election, because people who were in the leadership capacities were not making decisions in the best interest of the people. And so they said, let's have an election and let's put people, and that's where the split took place. So it seems as though there was a call to let's get this sorted out, to make sure that there's not people, a certain faction who's benefiting, but that the organization represents the people it represents and that it can move forward, and then there came the issue. Whatever it is, I believe that it can be worked out. Nothing is beyond being solved. But there has to be the art of what I call compromise.
The art of compromise.
There has to be, in the best interest, the art of compromise. And I believe we're at the stage now where you're this close to a parade. I mean, it's almost sad now that they can even come together, because by now, if they want to come together, they would all need to have one theme. The costumes line up with one theme, and we already know that they both had different themes, different costumes. So at this point, I don't think you're going to get at the parade this massive showing of one group, the Valley Boys, because their costumes would be completely confused unless they come up with a theme that says, though divided, yet we stand, or we're conquering, or, you know, two cannot stand, a house divided cannot stand.
Exactly.
That's a great theme.
That's a good theme.
A house divided cannot stand, and you show the different costumes on two different sides.
And then you say you come together.
Then you say you come together.
Yes.
Maybe you can do that.
You can do that.
But I believe it'll be a disservice to not have the Valley Boys representation in our #1 expression on our parades. I think we can get beyond that. And we ought to show as a country that we know how to work together, despite the fact that we disagree. When you look in these Junkanoo groups, you have people who are PLPs, you have people who are F&Ms, people who are COI, people who used to be DNA, people who are independent. And yet, no matter how much they bicker and fight all year round with politics, when they put on those costumes, they one group.
Then in addition to that, we have politicians, we have doctors, we have lawyers.
Yeah, all who argue for a living against each other.
And we have the custodial worker, every sphere of life. And we're hoping that, we're still optimistic, and we're hopeful that there will be an amicable agreement between the two factions, and that they will come together. It will be a misfortune for them not to come together, and it will not bode well for them. But we have experiences in the past. We've experienced separation in the past, and the separation led to growth. Okay, the Saxons had a separation.
Yes.
And what came out of it? One family.
One family.
The Valley Boys had a separation before. What came out of the Valley Boys? The Roots. Okay, and then Roots had a separation.
The Saxons separated again, and there came Genesis.
And then the Saxons had a separation again. There came Genesis. So sometimes there could be growth in separation. But in this case, when both factions want to retain the name, calmer heads must be able to prevail in this situation. And that's what we're experiencing. We're just not, you know, I just feel that...
You raise a good point. Because I think when we started looking back and recognizing separation isn't new.
No, separation isn't new, and it's not all bad.
The issue here is because of the name.
The name, exactly.
Both sides trying to claim names, and even though they've added to their, each of them have added to their name, you still get two distinct groups, but at the end of the day, both of those groups want to represent the one name.
Right.
And that's where the challenge comes.
One of the problems with some of the Junkanoo groups that have been around for a long, long time is that they came out the era of the one leader situation. So that one leader essentially made the decision for what was going to happen with that group. So now you find that a lot of Junkanoo groups now are more corporations where they are run by boards and all that. So it's easier for them to transition, to have elections, to transition from one leader to the next or one chairman to the next, because it's enshrined in their constitutions or their documents. But those groups that have been around for a long, long time, you find that it's a little more challenging.
And I agree with that, and that's where I give the credit and the props to One Family. They've shown us how to do it right as an organization.
Roots as well. Don't go there. Roots.
You can speak about
an
Roots.
executive board.
You
Yes,
can
I
speak
have elections every 3 years.
Well, you
by
can
the
speak
way.
about Roots. I know about One Family because I've watched as a journalist covering the organization. And their organization is more than just a Junkanoo parade. And I admire One Family for that. They go beyond just let's prepare for Boxing Day and New Year's Day. They have a movement and they have an organization that works in the community. They have institutions where they set up to do the business of Junkanoo. It's very well structured. And people who normally join One Family, they're taught and they learn about the organization of One Family and a part of movement. And I'm glad you're telling me Roots has the same thing.
And Genesis as well.
I know, definitely Genesis as well.
Yes.
So it shows that these newer groups have decided, listen, this one leader thing might have been good for that season, but the season has changed. And it's now an organization and an institution, and their hats off to them, they're doing it well with the organizational structure. I've been told to take a break. I got 4 people trying to tell me to take one break. 4 y'all trying to tell me one break. 4 y'all. You're watching The Rundown. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this. Stay close.
I have been coming to this island since I was 12 years old. It didn't take me long to realize the rich history it has here. When I bought this island in 2018, I fulfilled a lifelong dream. The goal is not only to preserve the memories I made over those years, but to make new ones and to give others the opportunity to do the same. As we go through this process, it has become clear to me, we aren't just rebuilding an island, we're reviving a legend.
JSC Bank, JMC TCI, and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring Kami and Fred. D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellis, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DPS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Swinger and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. Sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Welcome back to, I was say welcome back to the Valley Boys. Welcome back to the Rundown. We're talking to members of the JCNP, Ivan Thompson, who is, of course, the Assistant Secretary. And then, of course, we're talking to the head of the Rules Committee, Mr. Rory Saunders, about JCNP's role. I think we've accepted what their role is. I want to get some comments. The Lion's Den is roaring. I want to get a couple of comments in here. Mona Lisa Maxey, I see you. She's saying one family all day. All right, one family got a support in the Lion's Den. Yvette Ferguson says, sound like a coup attempt. So sad. William Martin Moore says, Saxons too straight. Open every door. He says, and Saxons by that.
That's the photographer, William?
William Baltimore might be the photographer, yes. Yes. I have another person in the Lion's Den who says, my question is about Dion Miller. It is claimed that he is right with Brian Adderley, and that's why the outcome is what it is, and perhaps why he's not on the show tonight. What say you to defend your chairman?
Like I said, it is easier to say something that is not factual, that has no basis, right? To drag people's name through the mud, accusing them of everything, than to look at what the actual facts are. The facts are straightforward. One group is registered, one group is not. And that is the simple crux of this matter. Right. We cannot tell. The JCNP is not trying to tell anybody that they cannot come to Bay Street and participate. We do not have that authority. We have the authority to determine who rushes for a prize. And to rush for a prize, you must be registered. That is simple.
What say you about the seed money? People are concerned about the seed money, right? They said, okay, you gave two groups $30,000. One is going to be in the A category, one group is going to be in the F category. And here are the other groups in the B and C category and all these other categories. Who are saying, why don't we get... What is the seed money for B category?
15,000. 15,000.
15,000.
Yes. Right.
So here is a group in the F category. What is the seed money for the F category?
$2,000.
So if you're in the F category, the group, you get $2,000.
Yes.
So you have a group who got $30,000 in the F category, rushing against other groups with $2,000.
What is the seed funding for an A category? $30,000. So a fellow in the F category gets the same thing as a...
So what say you about that?
The JCNP has, for time, has been sending recommendations to the government to determine, to advise them who rushed, who was disqualified and whatnot, and who possibly should get seed funding. The government decides who they're going to give seed funding to, and sometimes they disregard the list that we sent. All of us were surprised when they got the $30,000 with the position that they are in. Now, I know that other fund groups are asking for their $30,000 or their $28,000 balance. The A category groups should be asking for more money too, because now we have somebody in the fund category get just as much as we have from the government. That's
so we'll put that question tomorrow. The Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture is my guest tomorrow.
Yes.
So we'll put that question and find out his rationale behind it. He's normally a right-thinking minister, and he does make decisions based on facts. So I think we'll all be interested to hear on why that decision was made. I'm sure he has a reason for it, and we'll hear that tomorrow. Obviously, Junction is coming up in a couple of months. Time is fast approaching. Should people be concerned about what kind of parade we're going to have? If you're not going to have the Valley Boys in full effect, should we be concerned that the parade will lose something? Considering now this is a group that puts out, even on a bad parade, the Valley Boys still puts out a great performance. Should people suspect the parade may lose something from it this year?
No, I don't think so at all. Who are we to say the Valley Boys is not coming out in full effect? We don't know who's rushing for full side.
Is that your belief? You believe that when the Valley Boys are announced, you're going to see the Valley Boys in full effect?
I will see the Valley Boys. However they come is how I will see them. And that's how you're going to see them as well. Okay? I think the focus right now is Saxons defending their championship. 2 straight. We saw what happened the last time. They took 2 straight. They fell, and then one family were the coveted winners. They took the 2 straight after that. And so the focus is defending their title. And of course, I'm sure the Valley Boys will come out in fine form again, as they usually do. Now, whatever numbers they come out, it is what it is, but I do believe that they will come out and there will be a great showing. And of course, the other A groups and B groups will come out in fine form. So
do you think people who are on the Way Forward team are probably going to say, you know what, end of the day, I'm for country, I'm for the culture, I'm for art. Let me put on my costume and go out there with the world famous Valley Boys and Rush?
I don't agree with every Bahamian. But at the end of the day, if push come to shove, I'm a Bahamian. And I will stick with Bahamians. So sometimes that principle, it applies. It applies.
And again, like Ivan said earlier in the program, they need to fix their situation. We cannot fix it for them. We look and we can all hope that they do. From being experienced John Canoe, I know that there's some reality checks that based on John Canoe that I know that will not happen. But I think the parade this year is going to be very, very exciting.
Exciting, yes.
I think that from where I sat from February, persons were excited to talk about John Canoe and to get in the shocks early and all of those different things and whatnot. So everybody right now is working.
Even if they're excited to see the biggest fun group that will come on Bay Street in the history of John Canoe, there will still be a level of
It's always
excitement.
the first in John Canoe.
It's going to be a drama.
It's always the first.
It's always the
Something
first
new.
in John Canoe, yes. So Bahamians love drama, so I'm sure they'll be there to see the drama unfold.
What are we doing? You're responsible for the parades. What are you doing to improve the parade this year? What can people expect?
Well, we're doing, from a parades management standpoint, we always want to address the number one elephant in the room at the gaps. And so we are, particularly this year, with all the circumstances that are happening, we are employing our groups and we are meeting with those groups to ensure that they are at the starting line when they're supposed to be, that they're rushing at the times when they're supposed to be. We have there's some things that unite organizations, and I think this brewing controversy has united the JCNP groups to really show the Bahamian public that we can, again, operate John Canoe smoothly. And I think we are having stricter penalties, we're having the communication with the police and all those different entities to ensure that our parade runs smoothly.
Ivan, I'll give you the last word. What can people expect out of the John Canoe parades this coming season?
Somebody to beat this oxen.
It's not going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
What the Bahamian audience can expect is a lively John Canoe season. And it's going to start with the order of entry drawing, which will be the first Saturday in December, and the Iraqi usually starts at 3 p.m., where there will be the order of entry drawing as to who goes first, who goes second, so on and so forth for both parades, and then we'll have the synopsis reading for those parades as well. And again, like we said, we will expect a great showing. The Saxons is going to come out again, fully energized, defending their title. And of course, there will be all those other groups gunning behind them. And then we will see Colors and the Fancy Dancers coming out to defend their title in the B division. And of course, you will find that those groups will be coming out gunning for that title.
Correctly, Fancy Dancers won one competition last time.
New Year's Day.
Yes.
And that broke a streak in Colors. I don't know what happened. Because we've been seeing use of Colors winning all the B category competitions, and Fancy Dancers came out and showed them, listen, we could break the streak if we need to. And that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we have some fantastic B division groups. The Fancy Dancers, Colors, the Original Congos, the Body Cries and Crusaders. They are fantastic groups, and I think that we don't give them the just due that they deserve.
Often in the shadows behind the big names.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's so much that goes on in getting a group to Bay Street. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm not even talking about man hours, because you can't pay for man hours. But just to get a costume, one lead costume can go anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 to $16,000.
Unbelievable.
So for a group, that's why I commend the Valley Boys. To be around for 60 years doing this, 60 plus years doing this is no small feat.
No?
Yes.
It's
I want to get some comments in, because Neil Andrews, people in the lines that are roaring. Neil Andrews said, Mr. Watson, there is no split in the Valley Boys. The problem is only that there is a core, the heart of the Valley Boys, which makes up to over 85% of the group that wants a change in the leadership of the group. We refuse to be led by Brian Adderley any longer. He refuses to give up leadership because he's a dictator. The JCNP is run by Saxons and one family.
Amaroons.
We
have 3 members on the executive.
They want Brian Adderley and a crew to participate in Category 8 because music makers could beat them. They scared of the real Valley Boys. Saxons looking too straight. Family looking for a win. Y'all scared of the real Valley Boys. The government need to dismantle the JCNP and let the NJC run this year. Rory Ivan, the Valley coming. Don't look back. Any response to them?
Well, you can't dismantle what you didn't build. And that's all I have to say on that.
All right.
Okay.
Yvette Ferguson says, I hope the 2 groups don't have a riot on Bay Street. Sounds scary. Tonya Russell, Stirrup Russell says, and the same F group will make a statement. We ain't worried about the noise in the market. All right? Rodnell Stewart says they dealing with resigning. They deals with resigning. And of course, who it is, they're scared of my post. That's what the person said. And of course, Mariana Ferguson says, no Junkanoo parade will be exciting with the Valley in full effect. Junkanoo, she's saying. Yeah. And the Rodnell says, again, they're not serious. You can see that. So, you know, we know as we get closer to the Junkanoo time, it's going to heat up, and people are going to have their views. Yes. And hopefully at the end of the day, people will just enjoy the parade and enjoy the wonderful, great camaraderie that is provided by it.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, we leave out of there as proud Bahamians. Our culture is alive.
Absolutely, yes.
I think that's what's important, is to maintain culture and to keep it alive. And sometimes that means working together and not always winning what we want and getting our point across. But at the end of the day, the biggest factor should be, what do we need to do to keep Junkanoo alive and to advance the spirit of Junkanoo? I think if everybody put country first, I always get into these arguments with people because I keep saying it's always about what I need and what I want and my personal agenda. Yeah. And we need to sometimes lay it all down, stop the argument, and think about country first. And let's do what's best for our country, and that is to keep Junkanoo alive. And people always argue about it, that, you know what? Just to stop this competition thing, and let's just rush to keep Junkanoo alive. That's always the issue when people start talking about it, and now more and more every day we see it. But I believe that there is a way to rush for the spirit of competition, and just we all still at the end of the day leave as great rivals, knowing that we would have kept Junkanoo alive. And the best way to do that is by advancing the business of Junkanoo, that it continues long after the parades are done, right? Yes. That's the way forward.
That's what we do, Clint.
That's the way forward.
Wow, what's that? What's that?
I'm just teasing there. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you, Clint, for having us.
And for coming and sharing. We wish you the best success with these parades upcoming. We appreciate you.
We want to just let the public know that whatever they want to know about the JCNP, it's on our website.
Tell them.
It's on our Facebook page. The rules are all there. The rules are there. You know, if you can read and comprehend, it's very clear. And there would be no ambiguity in the rules. And it's there for everyone to see. There's no hidden agenda, and our chairman does not make rules for the JCNP. The decision is a collective decision by all members present.
All right. So we're going to go to our last break. When we come back, I have a special tribute that I want to pay when I come back and close the show. We'll do that right after the break. Thank you so much.
From the sugar to the jam to the pigeon peas and coconut milk. I love JBI products. My favorite product is the ginger tea. My favorite item would be the peas and coconut milk. For today, I'm trying out their white cane sugar. I want to say, I've been buying this now for 5 years. It gives me a good kick in the morning.
Whenever my mommy cooks, she must and will put the JBI corn inside my tuna and rice.
Anytime I make my sky juice, I always use JBI condensed milk. It's really good.
All of the products are exceptional.
Try JBI.
Happy anniversary, JBI. Happy 30th year anniversary, JBI. Happy 30th anniversary, JBI.
Thank you, Bahamas.
And just before we go this evening, I want to wish a special happy birthday to Mrs. Harriet Baby Johnson, who Sunday past celebrated 83 years with family and church friends. Now, I had an opportunity to meet Mrs. Johnson for the first time while in Grand Bahama on the weekend. While enjoying her special lunch in her honor, she spotted me in the restaurant and she said to her people at the table, "Kind of looks like Clint Watson over there." They came over and they found me and they got me and went over and had an exchange of words with her. And she told me how much she enjoys watching the show. I was so humbled by her words of encouragement to me. And we ended up taking a photo at the end. And so I just wanted to say happy birthday on the air to her. Again, happy birthday to Mrs. Johnson. May you always be blessed. I want to thank our sponsors, Jamaica Bahamas Imports, Collect, the I Am Boatman Concert with KB and Friends, CBS, Little Caesars Pizza, Ace Hardware, the Small Business Development Center, and Bamboo Shack Express. If your business name wasn't called, you need to do, call us and get on that list. That does it for us for the rundown. For all of us here at ZNS News, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to join us for the Bahamas tonight at 11 with Royson Jones. He's right over there. Probably getting sleepy by now, but he's working. Good night, everyone. Tomorrow night, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture is here. Mario Boleg is in the house tomorrow, and we'll get his response on John Canoe and everything else, culture, youth, and sports tomorrow night. Good night. At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
Sexual offenses are considered the most heinous crimes after murder. On this episode of The Legal Brief, we're going to discuss rape, incest, indecent assault, and other offenses.